it's a great honor and a privilege to introduce Gizella Mann, and your maiden name was Schöner.
Correct.
So we're here in Jerusalem. So Gita, it's really wonderful to see you and to be with you today.
Yes. My name is Gizella Mann, but everybody is calling me Gita. I was born in Changer, which is by the Romanian border, approximately 3 miles. And I lived at town where I was living. It's almost a city, a tiny city, because the border to Romania had to develop. Well, I don't want to go into the history, just telling that this town, a lot of Jews settled there. They mostly came from Galicia, including my grandparents. And they settled there. My grandfather, who had 6 sons, each of them has a profession like tailor or a sandler or things like that. They learned a fach to be able to exist. But among them, they were business people also. Well, we were not included in that category. We were lower than that. My father was a shoemaker, and we were 7 children who survived, not the Holocaust, but survived during the time while we were born. So actually 9 children we were, but one passed away when he was 2.5-year-old. And the last one, which was the last child, who were born and right away died after. So we were living in a very, very low, financially very struggling people. We have to, as we aged 10, 12, we helped our parents to add some earning. And while we were going to school, the children went to the cheder, and I went to the kindergarten, which wasn't a Jewish kindergarten, it was from the township responsibility. And excuse me. And we were living in a peaceful, low, economically kind of life, but religious, which I could say 89% of the Jewish population in this town, they were all Orthodox. And among the Orthodox was also all kind, very strictly, a little bit looser, a little bit more looser. So we belong, I would say, in the second category. My father went to shul every morning, and when the children reached the bar mitzvah, they supposed to go with him to the shul, to the temple, and from there they went to the cheder, and from the cheder to a Jewish school. Well, that was all together in the same area, And we were occupied studying and playing according to the situation and the age. My sister were the older, who was married during the war, and her husband was taken to Siberia, and she remained home with one child. And my older brother, he ended up in Budapest, and he was in the glass house, in the ghetto, whatever it was. And the rest of us, we were in 1944, right at the way after Pesach, day after Pesach, taken to a ghetto which is 30 kilometers from our town, and we were staying, the name of the town was Mate Saka, and we were staying there 6 weeks from Pesach, after Pesach till Shavuot. We arrived till Shavuot, Auschwitz. We arrived to Auschwitz. As soon we stepped down from, after 3 days of traveling, stopped in Auschwitz, and we had to get down from the train, and they were right away. We were survived with all kind of helpers, and to make order among us, the women and the children separate, and the men separate with the elder boys after 16. And I never saw again my brothers. I mean, in this time, my brothers with my father.
And how old were you at this time?
14 years old.
And your mother, were you together with your mother?
And I was with my mother and my sister and 2 little brothers, and we reached Mengele, and he separated my sister and me together from my mother and my 2 little brothers and my niece, which was the baby of my sister. And we lived in Auschwitz till October.
And can I ask, Gita, what happened to your mother? Did you go?
We don't. Until today, I don't know. And I will tell you, just from books, I know that when we arrived, it was very crowded, the crematorium. And as we were marching, my mother with the little boys and my sister, we saw far away, approximately half a kilometer or less, fire on the field. We saw that. But we had to go, and we met Mengele.
And you remember seeing his face?
I remember, I will never forget that. We arrived toward him. I was told that I should tell I am 16-year-old. And without that he was asking me, I told right away 16. I didn't speak then German. On the way I had to learn the name 16.
Who told you that you should say 16?
A prisoner who were make order among us. They were advising us things.
Because they knew it was going on.
Okay. So he did pointed on me and on my sister that we should go on the side.
It was the older sister.
My older. She was 9 years older, and who I was telling you that she was married, and her husband was taken to work, labor, and I don't know, according to the books that I read in this time in Auschwitz, that since they didn't have enough room in the crematorium, they were burning the people outside. Now, I don't know if they were taking them alive and just shooting them and burning them. That detail I don't know. Just they said that they were killing in fire, that's the way they were saying. No, we didn't know. We arrived and we were selected, and they were taking us to a camp. And in the camp, in the first night, it was a terrible barrack. You know what barrack is? It was raining in and nothing, sleeping condition. Whoever was standing, whoever was in a terrible night we went through. And the next day my sister, that she was already 24-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, like 23, a mother, she started to figure out where are we and what's happening with us. And after Zelappel, you know what Zelappel means? No. This is when they are counting every, how do you call it?
Roll call, like a roll call.
A roll call, okay. In German they call it Zelappel. You speak German?
A little, Yiddish, a little.
Oh, okay. So, after early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm sure that you know all these stories.
No, but
they are taking us to the local. After then, we were free to go within the lager, that was Lager C. And my sister said, you stay here and save the space, because it was a terrible situation, and I am going to look where are we and what's happening. Naturally, they took us before. After we were selected, they took us into a bath, a washroom where we had to undress, and they cut our hair and took everything. We had to leave there, everything. Only the shoes we could take with us. And took a shower, and after that we were taken into this barrack, which was a terrible thing. We couldn't recognize each other, how we are looked. So we were staying, my sister found cousins in another barrack, and they managed to give her a spot in this area. It was very crowded and in order, so a certain amount of people had to stay in not a bed, it's a condition where 12 people could sleep.
A bunk? Like a bank?
Like a bank for 12 girls. So somehow she succeeded, my sister, with the help of the cousins, to get one place. Because, as I mentioned, you could not stay in this barrack where we were. And then she came home and she said, I find a place for myself. And she was telling me, surprisingly, you don't know what's happening here. All the cousins, our cousins from all over the country are here. They are all here. All the family, my cousins from my mother's side and my father's side, everybody who were in an age of capable to work, we were here. So after traveling, after walking around, she found a place in another barrack, also two cousins, they were sisters, and they succeed to get me a place. So we were separated from my sister because we couldn't find it. Where I was, it was a children barrack. Children, it means from 13 till 18. And we were staying there, and every morning in the washroom we were meeting. And after the meeting, everybody went to the Celapel where we belonged to. Okay, I was in number 8 barrack, and my sister was in 22. But one morning in the washroom, I went to meet my sister, and I had to learn that she's not there because she was selected. She was selected to work. And she left a message. Well, I am not going into details because I know that you're...
No, you can say, it's fine.
A girl called my name in the washroom, and she had a jacket in her hand, a light panel jacket. That was my sister's jacket. And she said that they took your sister away from us with a lot of other girls, and they took them to work. So she left a message that I should try to get out from Auschwitz. So she was smarter already. She had information that this is a terrible place, and all the information what she knew, she understood that out from Auschwitz, because this is a terrible, dangerous place. Yet I still didn't know nothing what happened to the parents, and we didn't know nothing, absolutely nothing. We are living in Auschwitz, and it's already Tisha B'Av. Still, we didn't know what happened. And in Tisha B'Av, we heard this terrible situation where those people who were selected out from us, that they were all killed.
And do you know what happened to your sister?
My sister, I didn't know until I got liberated. She was taken to Germany, and she was working in a camp. She was working munitions in Germany. I don't know. she could not talk too much about her past, what was going on, where she was doing in I knew the name of it, all of it, I forgot it. It's a camp where they were taking to factories prisoners to work, producing.
And Gita, what happened on Tisha B'Av? How did you
Tisha B'Av, when we heard what happened, we all were hysterical. Girls, I am talking about in my age, similar girls. We were 1,000 in one barrack.
Yeah.
So when we heard, and they showed us the girl who was telling us the news, and I look out and you see the chambers. This is a crematorium where they were burned. So I was staying in Auschwitz till October, and October we were also taken, not really October, that was September. We were supposed to taken also to work. We were celebrated, and they took us to a bath, and they gave us decent clothing and food, and we were waiting for the train, and the train never arrived because they were bombing the railroad stations, and they took us to a different lager, which was not sea, it was bay, and there the condition was also terrible, no bed, no nothing. We were staying there till October in a very bad situation. And then they took us to Hornenburg in a factory, 200 girls. They took us there, 200, and we were living in a barrack. They built 2 barracks far away from the factory, which like 3 kilometers. And every morning we had to get up and marching to the factory early in the morning, and the food was fair to compare to Auschwitz. The hours was approximately 13 hours a day, and we were lived there until it looked like the Allies approached the area, so they collected us and they took us into a train, and they were taking us to Porta, Vestica, they called, where it was built a factory into them as a cave, the mountain. And we were working there. Sometime night.
Wow.
Very cold, and the air came through a pipe into the very cold, and sometimes the food didn't arrive, so we didn't have enough food. We really lost a lot of from our health condition. and we were producing always less and less and less. Well, we also had the problem that it was this factory, it was so covered with trees, the opening the gate, that nobody would find us. We were thinking, who would think that there is a factory in this place? So through this pipe, it was that white pipe, okay, square, and we heard men voices, but the voice, they were talking French. They were calling us, so until we discovered that this is a French language. So some of the girls, they learned French. So these girls went to the pipe and we had a connection. They said that, hold on, just hold on to it, because the Allies is very close to us, and soon you will be freed. But that never happened, because when they arrived, when they approached, again they collected us, and they were taking us in the train. We were traveling from place to place. Even we were stopped two places, even if I remember, where it was a gypsy lager, and they were taking us for a week. And killing in this place, we were not only 200 anymore, we were thousands and thousands, because they were always adding to that in the train from other camps. So Hungary, it was very, very bad, very, very. The condition, it was very bad, and punishing with every little things. The fear, it was among us. And a week after, they had to take us again to the train and carrying us. And they took us to Bendorf. This is a salt mine. And there we were also staying a few days, again back to the train. And we were already stopped in a place on a field where we heard the shooting, tanking and shooting. But as they were approaching, they took us further. So one day, to the train, they were adding like 4 other cars with men prisoners. And we were traveling a day with them. And the next night, they locked the door of the train. Before that, we were so weak already that some of them were already fell, no condition. And an officer came on the train and was pointing on people that they looked like that they will die soon, go down. Okay, they had to go down from the train. That's, I always tell that story, that it was sitting a girl next to me. And he pointed on her to go down. And he left me stay. And half an hour later, I don't remember exactly the time, we heard the shooting. So I was thinking, how lucky was I that he didn't point on me. Can you imagine? And when I felt that thinking, I felt a guilty feeling. But I was happy that I wasn't chosen and somebody else. So when they added this man transport toward us during the night, the second night that they were with us, we heard the whole night shooting. And in the morning, when they start to move out from the field, we saw the bodies. All the bodies, like a hill loaded with bodies. So we traveled another day. No food. Sometimes they let us go down and the grass start to come out springtime already. So we ate the grass. No water. Traveling, the train stopped in an open field. We had to get out, everybody, and we were surrounded with gunfire, how you say, machine guns. And we were told not to sit down, standing straight. And all of a sudden we heard a motor bicycle with a fire, how you say?
It's like a loudspeaker.
No, just radiance.
A whistle.
A whistle. Halt, no shoot, halt. And they went toward him. He had the paper in his hand and he said like this. So they went toward him. They were talking, and after that, they sent us back to the train. And we were told already that they are going to take us to Sweden. It was not ended, the war, it was still going on. Well, we didn't know nothing, thank God. You know, the next day they put us on another train, different, more menschlich, you know, and then only 50, otherwise it was 80 and 100. 50 in one car, and we were taken through Denmark to Sweden. That was my liberation. Arrived to Sweden, but only later on, a few years, we heard here and there that it was some kind of agreement. But we were told that Bernadotte, he was the
Count Bernadotte, yeah.
Not the Bernadotte, the ambassador. Himmler and the World Jewish Federation. They gave money to Himmler to stop the killing, and they give money. And on this deal, I was here today.
And is that why
I am here today.
Gita, is that why they stopped the killing when he did the whistle?
Right, he came to stop it because they sent him as a messenger to tell stopping the killing. They didn't have other way to
Do you know who the person was?
Then, what are you talking about? Thousands of people we were there. The uniform, the only uniform, can you remember a face? He wasn't face to face to me.
Do you think
We
it could have,
were among together.
could it have been Himmler himself?
No, he was not. He was not. I just learned that it was an agreement not only for this transport that we were, all together to stop the killing. It was almost finished the war.
Did you go on the white buses at all, or it was just in the train?
Train.
No white buses, or
What buses?
they said there were that Count Bernadotte had white buses, the Red
No.
Cross buses, or
No, nothing.
you just went by the train and you went to Denmark and then to
Yeah,
Sweden?
nothing, absolutely nothing. They were taking the train on to a fair. But took us to Malmö.
And how old were you at this time?
15?
15. And how did you feel when you went onto the ferry, when you realized you were no more, that you were free?
There is no feeling. No feeling. We were numbed. We didn't eat. We didn't have any feeling of hope. Why are we? That was the only feeling, guilty feeling I had when they took down this girl next to me. Then I felt a guilty feeling about happiness or free. No, you cannot imagine what condition we were. We were not human beings. We were animals. We were absolutely feelingless people. How it came back life to us. It took time. And then it started thinking, no, I don't have a mother, no father, no family. You know.
And how long did you stay in Malmö, in Sweden?
I was there for a year and a half. In the meantime, they gave us, for the summertime, first of all, they took us into a quarantine because we were carrying all kind of diseases. Many children they were taking to sanatoriums to heal them. It was lung, tuberculosis and all kind of disease we were carrying on among us. So it was, but the health, we were 43 girls actually we were those girls together that we were always from Auschwitz, with the camps, with all the time we were together. I would say like 50 girls. So we were always staying together, and the Jewish Federation gave money to the Sweden to give us a good condition in life until it will straighten out what the decision what to do with us. So first they were separating national-wise, the Polish and the Hungarian and the Romanian and Czech, everybody, the ambassadors of those countries, they took over the responsibility for us. So the Hungarian embassy took care of the Hungarian Häftlingen, you know, the prisoners. So one of the Swedish well-to-do, very wealthy family, they gave us their summer home next to Stockholm, and we were spending a few months there. And when the season were over, we had to give back the slot. This is like a castle. They find a factory for 12 children, a job. So we were working in a job, a battery factory. And in the evening we were learning Swedish, the language. And the Red Cross started to work international-wise to put together families, survivors, to find their families whoever survived. So through them I discovered my sister with her husband and 3 brothers that they were older than I am, that they survived. But they killed my father 2 months before the liberation. But they were together, the 2 my brothers. They killed him, he couldn't go to work, so
they killed him.
They shot him. So I was there in Sweden, and when I heard that my family, whoever, my brothers and my sister, they are back, except the older brother who were in Budapest, and he survived with his wife. He went to Italy with the Zionist movement, but the rest of my 2 brothers and my sister, they came back to my hometown where we used to live, and I was left Sweden right away because I just wanted to be with my family. And when I arrived, I saw there is communism, and I didn't see any reason to stay there.
Can I ask, how was the encounter when you met your brothers and your sister?
You can't describe that. This is something so painful. Happiness and
sadness.
Very, very sad.
It must have been the most incredible reunion. But then you realize that your parents aren't there and your sister's child isn't there.
The picture of my niece with my sister,
And she's
it was laying on the table. Very painful and happiness together.
Did your house still remain? Could you go back to your old house, or was
the house? It wasn't belong to us.
You were renting it, maybe?
But then, yes, but then furniture, only 2 chairs. Wow. My sister could get it from our home. But I could not go through the street where the house was.
It was too painful.
Yeah.
And Gita, did you see the neighbors?
14 years, yes. Yes, they came to visit me.
And
the neighbors.
Were they friendly or were they?
Very friendly. We had a very friendly neighborhood experience with the non-Jewish people. We were poor. We were not. They didn't have to be jealous of us. So here and there we saw, some kind. First of all, strange soldiers, and also police. They came to the town, and they were very, very fascistic people who were giving us a lot of trouble. But the town, more or less, you can tell the feeling, other people's feeling. I don't know how you feel toward the Arabs or things like that. Don't belong to them. We don't belong to them.
I felt it strange.
This is, yeah. But we were very friendly. We helped each other, and we were needed. And it was a very comfortable neighborhood.
So how long did you stay in your town after coming back after the war?
I came back by 46 in June, 48 November, I came to Israel.
And your brothers and sisters?
And my brothers, they stayed there till 56, until the revolution in Hungary. It was a revolution. They were staying. My sister had 2 children, 2 boys, and they are here in Israel today. And her husband was in a position, a captain in the police department. He spoke the language, the Russian language, was in Russia, and beside that he was Jewish, so they trust him because it was communism. And the politics were different, completely different. All these German born, in Hungary there were a lot of Germans settled from the First World War or even earlier, and they were German, and they were all deported by Russian. The Russian, they deported out from there, took them out from the house, and the same the Russian did to what the Germans did to us.
Yeah. Wow, Gita, that's unbelievable. And Gita, can I just ask, You go back to Poland and you take groups with you in Poland. You've been asked to go back?
Yes, I do.
Was it very difficult the very first time you went back?
No, that wasn't the first time I went. I went back to Auschwitz not with the troop. The very first time I went with my husband.
How? With your husband? And where was your husband also a survivor?
That was my second husband. I was married twice. The first husband, he died in age of 46.
Oh, you're so young.
Yeah, well, my life story is, this is my story of how did I survive and how come that I came to Auschwitz. I have another life, a long, long life.
I know.
Before then and after then.
I know. But when you came the first time, when you returned to Auschwitz, was it extremely emotional? Was it terrible? It must have been very difficult.
You know, this is the question.
I'm sure everyone must ask.
This question is only can understand people who were not through it.
Who were not?
Who were not through it.
Who didn't go through it, yeah.
Because you didn't have a choice of deciding. They were told what to do. And accordingly you were thinking how am I going to survive? Not dealing with very, very emotional feeling. No time for it. You have to save yourself. That's the job to do. You cannot, even, for example, my husband, we had a leather coat business in Manhattan. He died very recently, in age of 46, a week, during the week. It took a week. He had some problem in the spleen, and that killed him, and took it big. When I called, I spoke to my husband 20 minutes before he died. And very clearly, he's supposed to come home. And he told me, you know, Gita, now I feel exactly where the pain comes from. And I said, listen, I want you to call right away the doctor and tell him. Because he had terrible pain. And I put down the phone. And I don't remember if it was 20 or a half an hour later, I have a phone call, and a nurse calling me that I should come to the hospital. And the children, they were planning to go for a car show to Manhattan. We lived in Brooklyn. And I am saying probably he spoke to the doctor, telling where the pain comes, and he wants to talk to me to explain what to do. So I told the children, you just go to the show and I am going to the hospital and let's see what the doctor is saying. Hoping that he will explain to me what he finds. When I went to the doctor's office, right away sit down, Mrs. Mann, I'm sorry. How old was your husband?
Right
away. What do you mean? And he said, I'm sorry. As soon you put down the phone, he start to choke. and they couldn't save him. I'm standing there, not hysterical, thinking clear. That means that I stay alone with all the trouble. I have to hold on. To hold on. So this is why do I telling you this particular incident? You are asking me, how did we handle our life in those terrible situations? We cannot, the feeling of staying alive, you don't give up so easily. And you are dealing and handling your mind, how to survive. Not our sentimental feeling. There is no place there. It demands more than that from you. So that's my answer.
And when you go back with groups, when you take groups, and you explain to them that you were there, it must be, it's bittersweet, because here you...
It's bittersweet, yes. I see my army. I am with the army of Israel, okay? These are my Hayalim, okay? And I am telling my stories. It gives me energy, the feeling that I survived. And we can survive. And with all these stories, teaching you not to reach that surviving problem. Teach you to be strong and thinking what to do to survive.
And this is the message that you must be giving to the groups that you take.
Yes, yes. And I feel this is a mission for me. And I don't teach them to hate anybody, not even the German. Because I experienced terror on my own. Terrorism is something that you have no power over yourself. You have to do what they are telling you. And you, even when you are standing there and you know that you are shooting, you have to straight, not to fall, because they told me to stay straight.
Wow.
You understand? No power, no nothing. It's something only us. I don't have this vocabulary to express situation like this, because it's very impossible. That how human behavior and mind working. I am only talking about my experience, okay? It could be different other people. I only know when I lost the connection with my sister that took her. I had a pain in my heart. physically, I heard that my heart is
torn.
Yes. So, very difficult to explain.
Very
things.
difficult.
Some people who have that talent, to express their own description of what we went through, maybe they could explain that.
Wow. Oh, Gita, what you only went through? That is unbelievable.
Well, a lot of things. I came back to Hungary, and then I went to a Hachshara. Hachshara, it means zusammenhängen with Zionist group of people, and going to Israel straight in the war.
You came here in 48?
Yes. I met my husband in Hungary, and we engaged each other. His parents came back because they were in the sample lager in Theresienstadt, and the whole family survived together. But they grew up, and every child, the little children, he had very young brothers. His father twice married, and the second time he had 3, 5, and 6, 7-year-old children.
And this is a picture of you and your husband. What year was the picture taken, Gita?
In Tirat HaKarmel. In 1950.
You were married in 1950?
In Israel.
It's a beautiful picture.
As we survived, as we arrived to Israel, they took right away my husband to the army. From the boat to the army. And they took me into a Beit Olim, into a tent with people that you never met. And Israel wasn't look like this today. In Pardes Hannah, only Pardesim, oranges grow everywhere. And the Shualim and Shakalim, they were screaming at night. And I come from Europe, and there is no such a noise. And you wake up, you go to the Cheder Ochel, all kind of people, Bulgarian, Romanian, Moroccan, from all over, even from India they came. And you don't understand, you speak only Hungarian. And your fiancé is in the army, and you are alone. And it was very difficult, very, very difficult. Until I find a place in Pardes Hannah working in a kitchen where we were cooking for 40,000 people.
Wow.
New incomers, and they were all in Beit Olim Karula, they called them Beit Olim, where we were cooked in this main kitchen and shipping early in the morning, and we were cooking at night, day and night, 24 hours, to feed the people who arrives. And Okay, I was happy, no matter how difficult it was. I was already happy. I am in my own homeland. This is my home. From here they won't take me out. And appreciate what we had, every little thing. But to appreciate what the way I was appreciating is because I knew much, much worse.
Yeah.
I experienced in life much, much worse. I know every little thing. What I make and what is surrounding me is the best.
And Gita, can I ask, you have a beautiful message that you don't ever teach to hate. And can I just ask, did you keep your emunah? Did you keep... Because it's very hard to have gone...
I have an emunah. I have an emunah.
Your faith, yeah.
I am free to talk. Emunah by myself. Be yourself. And do the best to others,
Yeah.
what you can. No criticism, no demanding, just do what you can do and be happy that you can do. You have your health, trust your body and respect your body and take care of it. Able to help others and to enjoy life.
And you have a family, you've got children and grandchildren?
I have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. And thank God they are thinking the same way as I do, and not that they live in the United States. And all my children, they went to Hebrew school. And all my children had bar mitzvah, all my children had everything, as this is my tradition, okay, as a tradition. It's nothing, it's a family tradition and a nation tradition.
And that's what you were brought up with.
This is what I believe, where I belong to. I cannot belong in Gan Eden or Dvarim Kaele. To me, this is...
But Gita, you have in your home, you have a mezuzah, and you live here in Israel.
Mezuzah is a tradition. Just as a tradition where I belong. I understand what I am praying. And disagree with me. All this praying, what?
And
you have to forgive me telling you,
no, Gita,
disappointment.
Not at all, Gita. No one can even comprehend. Gita, can I just ask you, and this is a difficult question, when you were in Auschwitz, did they put a tattoo number on?
It was no time anymore. Straight to the gas, straight to the...
Wow.
No time. It was already loaded. They were very busy. It was in June.
And let me ask, that image that you had of Mengele, that will remain with you forever?
I forgot his face. I don't know if I ever pictured him. I mean, I saw him, but my mind was working on 16. Don't forget, you are dealing with a 14-year-old girl.
No, but the person that told you to say you were 16 saved your life. That advice that they said, the number 16.
I didn't dealt with that. I didn't know then this is my surviving. I didn't know why did he tell me that I should tell 16. Maybe that I fixed too. I am ready to work. Okay.
But thank God that they gave you that advice and you took that advice.
Sure,
Thank
my
God.
mother was next to me and she was telling me, practice 16, okay? The meaning of surviving, if it has a connection, yes, if we are thinking about it. But in my mind, I didn't deal with that.
Yeah.
It's, it's a matter of individual thinkers. If we are talking about a 14-year-old girl, I had never problem with anything against me. Somebody would be against me. I was surrounded with a family.
A very loving family.
No experience, yes. No experience of surviving.
But Gita,
It's a normal life. You are living a normal, poor life, and I am happy with this poor life over there. Doing what my mother was telling, my father will get up in the morning, say Maidiani, say the broche, and go to play. That was my life.
But Gita, listening to your life story and what you went through, thank God, Baruch Hashem, that you were given that advice to say 16, that somebody came up from nowhere, and then also that the soldier on the train, he didn't choose you to take off from the train. You went,
I can take credit for those things.
I know, but thank God, thank God it happened. Thank God it happened, but that you can.
Yeah, I believe in Goral.
Yeah.
Faith,
Sure.
That's everybody's faith. When I am finding a tiny little ant in my kitchen, and I put my finger and I kill it. And I said, that's a fate for this little, tiny, little living thing.
Yeah.
And I had to do it. Why do I have to do it? Why do I have to kill it? Can you imagine? He don't have the right to life. We are living, these are all living things. And one is killing each other or remain alive.
But Gita, can I ask, what advice would you give your grandchildren, and what advice would you give people after what you've experienced and what your life story, what you've gone through?
I didn't have to give advice to my children because they had a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I saw that even when my children said I am going out for a date, I didn't tell, I want you to be home this and this time. I never told that because I trusted them.
Yeah.
My children did not want to disappoint me because we trust our children. We gave them credit. We gave them the respect for the children. I didn't have to advise. I didn't tell my daughter. I had only 6 years elementary school. That's my
your education.
This is my education. I didn't tell my children that she should go to college and to have her master degree in computer, for example. I didn't have to tell my son. They did it by themselves because they saw. The example, I did not have to give advice my children. They knew what they have to do with their life. Okay, I'm very happy about it. Very happy about it. My children are giving me a lot of nahat.
That's better, thank God, wonderful.
And the grandchildren.
Wonderful.
They are all great children. My granddaughter, she grows her hair so long and she cuts it and giving it for cancer cases. My son, when he sees that somebody is trouble on the road,
wow,
he would stop
to help
and would go asking, how can I help you?
Gee, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Sure.
Nothing hurting people. I have connection with German people. Because I went back to the place where I was working. And I took my 2 children there, where I was working. The 2 places. One place it disappeared. The other, it was just a building. The other place, German people helped me to find where it was. And when they find it, and my children came with me, and they discovered inside, my son went down with the German girls that they helped me, and with an engineer and all people, and they find the factory where I was working. And in June, this year of June, it's going to be ready a museum there.
Are you going to go to the opening of the museum?
My children are coming with me.
Wonderful.
And we are working together.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Gita, I'm going to just, I really want to thank you. So I'm just going to, that is really special. That's very special. So I'm just going to come here. So Gita, I just want to say, I want to thank you so much for sharing your life. And Gita, I can honestly say it's been such a privilege to be with you.
Thank you.
And you are an example that everybody can strive to emulate. You really are. You are unique. You've gone through, you could be so bitter, you could have taken life, and look what you've done with your life. You have such a message and such warmth, and
thank you.
And you radiate hope, and you're here in Israel, in your homeland, and you are an incredible person, and I cannot thank you enough. And we just wish you mazel bracha at May Vesrim in very good health.
Thank you.
And you should just get nachas from your dear family.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Gita.
That's my pleasure, and basimcha.
Wow, Gita, it's been very, very special.
Thank you.
Gita, here we are in your home, and you have wonderful pictures here.
Okay.
Okay.
This is in Washington when we signed that we are going to participate to build a museum in Washington when Reagan was the prime minister of
the president.
The president of the
It was the Washington Holocaust
and
Museum.
The Holocaust Museum.
Wow.
It wasn't exist yet. We just signed that.
Wow.
From Bnei Zion.
Sure. And this picture over here, Gita?
And this they gave it to me. The army. You can see the.
And you have a beautiful picture here. This is also from the army.
Yes.
And then these are pictures of you in German newspapers.
Yes.
Wow, Gita, that's amazing. And here's
These two. The different time.
that is from 2017.
Okay.
And Gita, this is also wonderful. This is
Yes.
It's incredible what you've done, Gita.
Yes.
It's really incredible. And here we have.
And here also in the, that was, that I don't know, didn't remember, one of the dead
Cemeteries. It's a memorial.
memorial, yeah. And this is my son's wedding.
Oh, it's wonderful. And Gita over here.
And this is also a present.
And these are pictures.
My husband in the army.
This is when he was in the army. Gita, it's so special.
Yes, I also have something.
And this is a picture when you got married. What year did you get married, Gita?
1950.
From Holocaust independence. And this was now in 2000. Did you go now?
Yes.
In 2019. It was.
Right.
Wow. With deepest appreciation and gratitude from Holocaust to Independence, mission to Poland and Israel. And this is the Friends of the IDF. Gita, you are incredible. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, I am.
And
I
this,
feel that I have to do it.
Gita, this is amazing.
And this is my husband later on.
Sure. It's wonderful, Gita. Sure. And Gita, you saw the Holocaust Museum in Washington being built?
Yes. Yes, I saw that. I also have a picture. These are my from Yad Vashem when the date when my father was killed officially, and you see, and my two brothers that they were in concentration. I mean, in the camp, when they arrived. I have to show you something. This one. I have their pictures with the prison uniform, my brothers.
Here we are. Sure. And you got this from Yad Vashem?
Yeah, they had that. This is their name. Schöner Karman. And this is my other brother.
Wow. It's amazing. I'm so glad that you managed to retrieve.
Yes.
So Gita has a very beautiful picture of you in this book about Holocaust survivors, and it mentions that Gita Mann was born in Csenger in Hungary in 1929, and Gita was relocated to the ghetto and was deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp, an extermination camp. She also worked as a forced laborer in factories in Honenberg and Hamburg in Germany. And Gita, you say the most beautiful saying. You say, accept everyone, every human being on this planet should be loved and accepted. We must act with open hearts and without judgment or criticism. This is the only way that humanity can achieve happiness. It's a very beautiful message.
Thank you.
And the author of the book is Martin Scholler. Did you meet the author?
No.
But it's a beautiful book.
They mailed that to me.
Faces of Life After the Holocaust. Gita, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.